Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback, and on today's episode of Heroes of the Storm, we are going to be playing Muradin in our A through Z playthrough to cap off this week. And Muradin's a tank, so this should be hopefully some pretty comfortable territory. But it's a YouTube video, so feel free to like, comment, subscribe your heart out. And today's team comps are going to be Gul'dan, Hanzo, Muradin, Falstad, Stukov versus Stitches, Ana, Zul'jin, Cassia, and Vala. Everybody got their reworks. The enemy team got all the reworked heroes, and then we got updated Falstad. That's about it. So here we go. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Muradin's abilities, all of them are very, very simple, very, very effective, but require a decent amount of positioning and skill and understanding of what you need to do as a tank. So, your Q ability, while we body block the Stitches to death, your Q ability is your Storm Bolt. This is your capstone ability. This is everything that you need to do on Muradin to succeed with the character. I'm also playing with the skin that makes this a little bit more difficult to react to, apparently, for some people. But as far as the difference with the normal skins go, it's a quick match, so that really doesn't bother me. Your Q Stormbolt, though, is a straight line skill shot. You're just going to launch a missile at the target, and it is going to stun them for 1.25 seconds and deal some damage. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get the Ana, unfortunately. But the stun is, it's got a built-in quest, so that's permanent quest that Muradin deals with for his whole life. And the number of stacks that you need to get is going to be at 25. Now, there is some nuance to this quest because hitting one person is obviously going to give you one stack, but if you hit a person and it leads to the death of the hero within 2.5 seconds, it counts as 3 stacks. So you get even closer to finishing the quest quick if your target dies, which is really nice, except there's 4 people down here in the bottom lane, so we're not going to get any kills, and Stukov is body blocked. There's no way to get him out of there, so that's unfortunate for him, getting a little bit of payback from the Stitches earlier. Stitches is enormous, by the way, so if you're standing anywhere near that planet-sized monstrosity, you can almost guarantee that your Q is going to hit him. Your Stormbolt will get intercepted by the thick ass of Stitches. Now, your whole quest component for this ability, though, once you hit 25, the ability gets way, way, way better. Because once you hit 25, you're going to pierce with the Q. It's going to go through one target, and then you are going to be able to reduce the cooldown of the ability by auto-attacking, which is also insanely, insanely good. It's also going to give you 3 mana for every auto attack that you hit, so Muradin's mana problems become much less as long as you're good at auto attacking. Normally this character does have some pretty decent mana costs, and they're going to chunk out pretty quick on the old bar. So just make sure that you're being aware of that, and then once you have the quest completed, just auto attack your heart out, which is not very difficult because you should have given the axe. You should be auto attacking anyway because that's really Muradin's main form of damage. Now your W, since we've beaten the Q to death, your W is called Thunderclap. This is going to do damage and an AoE around Muradin, and is going to slow people as well. It's also going to slow attack speed for the targets that get hit by your Thunderclap, which is really handy into characters like Vala and Zul'jin and Raynor and Greymane and Illidan. Anything else you can think of that wants to hit people, Muradin's just going to be like, slap, slow down, sit down, shut up, and watch me stun you. That's really all this character is going to be about. Now, that being said, there are a lot of talents for your Thunderclap that are going to make it do this, that, or the other thing, but we can talk about those when we get there. Your E is Dwarf Toss. This is your main form of jump in and jump out. That's literally all that it is. Muradin is jumping. He's gaining armor while the jump is going and for a short time after, which is really helpful. Can I get some damage on this healer? Let's go, buddies. We're gonna auto-attack her. We've got the talents to do the extra damage, and she doesn't manage to sleep the tank, which is the person who's gonna secure the kill. And that, my friends, is It's going to come back to bite us in the ass really hard, because I'm pretty sure all that I'm going to do the rest of this game is get slept by this Ana. But Dwarf Toss, very, very much the ability that is going to separate the good Muradins from the bad Muradins. So, you do not always need to use this ability to jump in and try and land a Q. Sometimes you want to use this ability to get out. And let's be honest, there's not a lot of people that use it to do that thing. Looks like all this time sitting down here with this siege camp, obviously getting sniffed out by the enemy team. Not sure why the idea to sit there for so long was so... whatever. You know, it's quick match. I can't complain. This is just what we have to deal with. That's okay. We're at 23 stacks on our Stormbolt quest. But Dwarf Toss, again, you don't have to always jump in. You can easily jump over walls just like that. You can jump out of situations as long as you're not getting crowd controlled, which is a little bit tough sometimes. Because if there is a Malfurion root sitting directly in your path and you jump over the grass that's on the ground, you're still going to get rooted for some reason. That's just the interaction that it is. So don't jump over Malfurion roots. It doesn't work. Now, the enemy team, not even remotely interested in getting the dragon. Falstad has managed to decap on the bottom. Good guy Falstad with 2 people on the enemy team not picking ults for that engage. Part of the reason that they probably didn't get a kill. But there's the Eye of Horus. Oh, the Gorge is out as well, and it's not going to hit anybody yet. Nobody's standing quite close enough to the Stitches. Thank God. Anyway, all that being said, Dwarf Toss. You can use it just like that, nice and aggressive. Gul'dan getting pushed back to the inner gate. He's looking pretty dead, if we're being honest. Gonna get a little bit of suck off, and then he's done for. So, at least we got the trade with the Vala. I mean, still getting stacks as well. It's nice and easy there, but I'm just going to chalk that up to comedy, because I like Stukov better than I like Gul'dan at this point, so I approve that push. Another real good one. Nice, big space created for us to get this camp nice and easy, taking it out with the sledgehammer. Your final ability that we're taking for Muradin is the Haymaker. I know a lot of people think that Avatar is just going to be this savior of Muradin as a main tank, and it's just so good, and there's nothing that you can do to ever not pick Avatar, and Haymaker's so bad and only really good. None of that's true. Avatar is quite literally just giving yourself 1,000 or so health, and you get a little bit more tanky. Like, that's it. That's the whole draw to it. Just more health. And you get bigger, I guess. Oh, he didn't go to the other side of the wall, which blows my fucking mind, because he was just hanging out on top of the gate. But whatever. The only time that Avatar really shines, in my opinion, is at level 20, when you get the upgrade. But nobody takes the upgrade because it competes with Rewind, and it competes with Hardened Shield, so it's like, excuse me? But anyway, yeah. Avatar, at one point in my life, in my HOTS career, I was like, oh yeah, Avatar all the time. Haymaker's way too hard to use. It's not consistent. It's just bad. Now, I'm just over here thinking, well, maybe I'm going to get hit by an Ana Dart first, and then rethink my position on Muradin's heroics. Haymaker is capable of doing all the tanky things that you need to do with Muradin, that don't include tanking a whole bunch of damage. And really, that's all that Avatar is going to do for you. Avatar is just making you more healthy so you can soak more damage and just stay in the fight longer. And I'm not necessarily about that. That's not who I wanted to Haymaker, but we got the push. After the push is Stitch is going to get... Oh, he's getting some damage. I don't think Hanzo can 1v1 him. Definitely not with the Vala there. That was a little bit spooky for him. But Ana's out here all alone and actually walking forward towards 2 heavy-ass auto attacks. Not sure what that was all about. Interesting. we're going to make it out just fine. The enemy team still has the dragon, so that's a little bit scary, but it doesn't look like they're going for it with their Ana dead. I'm going to go up to the top side, maybe try to take that cat back, and relieve some pressure for our team. Hopefully those two will be okay in the middle lane. But Haymaker, again, it peels, it engages, it can kill things, and it's not Avatar. So ultimately, play with what you're comfortable with. If you're picking Avatar, you definitely have to pick your engages and your peels very carefully with the ability. But if you're a good Muradin, and if you're playing Muradin, let's be honest, you should be pretty good at the character. It's very, very a versatile ability. It's just extremely good. I would recommend it 9 out of 10. You don't have to pick it 9 times out of 10, but like definitely 50-50 if you're a comfortable Muradin player. Now your trait, the final thing that we could talk about with Muradin's basics, is the second wind. After you're out of combat so long, you're going to get increased health regen, and it is going to be really, really good at keeping your sustain in the lanes, around the map, all that stuff, very, very high. So you may have seen me use it a couple times already, but really all that we have to do once a fight has broken out, if we take a bunch of damage, is just kind of hide in the shadows, let the second wind kick off, get about 40% of our total health back, and then we could just walk backwards. She missed that one. Fuck yeah. I feel way better now because that was me just walking in a straight line, asking to get hit by that thing. Oh my god. This is a really bad time to do this camp. But our Gul'dan seems really interested in doing it, so we'll take the Vala kill. I'll take the Gorge to my face hole and see if there's anything else we can do to stop this from happening. Am I going to die? I'm not. He's going to die, though, because he walked forward into the guillotine that was obviously coming down. So there's the third wind, the second wind going off there. 199 health regenerated per tick at level 16. Really, really good stuff. At level 15, sorry, I didn't realize we weren't 16 for that. Gross. But I guess we can talk about the build now, because the build for Muradin, while there are some talents on this character that will really... there's diversity. There is diversity in the build for Muradin, but some are very, very, very much better than others, and there are some talents that are really good at dealing damage. And that is a lot of things that, a lot of what tank players like about Muradin, because he has this kind of DPS carry potential to him while being a tank. We're going to jump over the wall aggressively with our Dwarf Toss. We're going to eat it by the Cassia, but we're going to watch our Falstad clean up on the backside. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. He's actually just going to die. And Gul'dan is obviously still dead from the Gorge. Didn't feel like using that earlier, huh? Yep, that's everybody. We're all dead. Nothing that we could do there. Probably could have been solved with a little bit better focus, a little bit better positioning, probably not getting gorged, but we do what we can with what we've got, honestly. Excuse me. Just choking on air. Alright, I'm good. Now, the build for Muradin, though, the one that I'm taking, is just the one that I have the most success with. So, we're going to take Perfect Storm at 1, which is only going to increase the damage of our Storm Bolt per hit. There's nobody there, buddy. There's only 2 people left on the enemy team that can get there, and both of them are getting shrines. So, that's, you don't have to worry about that. Whew. No Haymaker to push this guy back into the wall, but definitely a Stukov. Ooh, a Stukov push into the corner. We can just keep going forward. Our Dwarf launch is thick, and our team should be following up relatively soon, I would hope. Is it happening? It's not happening. Oh my god, I didn't mean to jump that far. Please, someone help me. It's fine. Everything's fine. They got really scared. I got really scared. We were all really scared, and we agreed to walk different directions. Good on you, enemy team. Thank you for letting me live. Just gonna hop over this wall real quick, but Perfect Storm is just giving you extra damage on your Q. At this moment, we are at 124 extra damage on our Q, which is fine, and we've got 31 stacks just from hitting heroes. So, let's see, what are we at? We're at 223 damage right now at level 18, so we add on the 124 we're doing right around 350 per Stormbolt, which isn't anything to scoff at when we're hitting things like Vala or Ana or Zul'jin. But the other really cool part about this is that it synergizes exponentially with our level 4 talent, Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer is going to let you do increased building damage or non-heroic damage pulling a minion instead of me, which probably saved my life. It's going to let you do increased damage to non-heroic units. So, think about buildings, think about mercenaries, think about immortals, bosses, stuff like that. Can we get through the door? He's gone through the other side. His healing is reduced. He's got 100 health left. And we made it. Cracked through the iron gate of death and saved our healer. You're welcome. It was more Falstad than it was me, but I still contributed. Can we get the Haymaker, knocking the stitches back and getting the push on him into the corner yet again? That's gotta feel bad. But again, Sledgehammer, since it's doing 350% increased damage to non-heroic units, you can take huge chunks of damage off of buildings, off of bosses, off of anything that's not a hero, and it is really stupidly helpful. You're going to see me hit 2 giants and take 1/3 of both of their health at the same time. I mean, Muradin can do camps so quickly as long as he's got his quest completed and he's got Sledgehammer. It is such a good ability, and I wish it was taken more, but I do see a lot of people going for Thunderburn and Reverberation. Ooh, got the knockback. She's going to sleep me, but she's walking around the long way, so it looks like she didn't realize I had another Dwarf Toss, and we're going to chop her down. Now, the reason that we can do all of that auto attack damage is because we have Give 'em the Axe at 7. Give 'em the Axe is going to give you basically an Executioner on your auto attacks against slowed, stunned, or CC'd targets. It's really awesome because Muradin has a built-in slow and a built-in stun with his Q and a W, so you just wreck people's shit, and it feels real good, man. But the other talent that I think... all the talents of this tier are very good, but I think you're going to see a lot of people take... this one, Give 'em the Axe, over Skullcracker and Heavy Impact. Even though Heavy Impact is insane amounts of CC, and Skullcracker gives you lots of attack speed and lots of interrupt potential. I mean, it's just nuts. Trying to get Cassia away from all my DPS, but at the same time, it can't really stop him from getting guillotined out of his mind. Oh my god, all our healing's been turned off by the Stitches hook, but that's okay. He's not going to have any damage to stop me from living, so goodbye, sir. Right, but Skullcracker, I think Skullcracker and Heavy Impact are both very, very strong talents. Probably you're going to want to select them in different scenarios. Muradin is an especially good counter to Sonya because Skullcracker, you can just whop, 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 and she's going to get stunned. She no longer spins from there. Heavy Impact, very good at letting Muradin engage on single targets with Dwarf Toss because you drop on him. Holy shit, that arrow. She just barely lived, but we saved the Falstad, which is the most important part. Fantastic stuff there. Barely dodging the hook, oh my god. But the 7 tier itself is very, very good for Muradin. So just play what you're comfortable with, and know that Give 'em the Axe is the most popular, but I definitely don't think it's far and away the best. I think it can compete with the other two. And then Thunderstrike, we're only picking up at 13 because we're in a lot of 1 versus 1 situations. We're okay. Can we? Nope. The guillotine traveling along the path. I don't want her to kill my healer, but it looks like my healer's just gonna die. Trying to jump out with the dwarf launch. All we can do. Where were we? We're talking about 13 talents, right? So Bronzebeard Rage used to be the big one because you would activate it with Thunderclap, and then you would do a shitload of damage and a shitload of healing from that damage. Now you have to hit your Q to get all of that. So it puts a skill cap on the ability, which a lot of people who play Muradin who are not good will have trouble with. But it is still probably the strongest talent. I just like Thunderstrike better because it lets me do much more damage to a single target. Ooh, ooh, just blasted. Well, then you're going to trade the guy. Oh, but the arrow outtrades us again. Fuck yeah, Hanzo. Way to go. Way to fling those arrows directly. Wait, when did Falstad die? That was a long time ago. It doesn't matter. It's not part of everything that we're doing. I gotta dodge the hook. I gotta try not... Okay, well, a sleeping dart is going to kill me. As was my fate since we killed Anna in the beginning of the game. That's unfortunate. What are our stacks up to damage-wise? 176 on our Q damage. Yeah. I think the dwarf block is perfectly accessible as well at level 1. Third wind also getting more healing. I just like the extra damage on a Q because that just means we get more setup for our team to do more with it. But everything at level 1 is pickable. Just pick what you're most comfortable with or you think is going to get the most value in what you're doing or against the enemy team. That's my rant about all those talents. Your level 1 and your level 7, I think, are very, very much up to you. Always going to be up to your preference, their preference tiers. 13, you're probably going to want Bronzebeard Rage or Healing Static. And if you're going to take Healing Static, you should do yourself a favor and take Thunderburn as well, because Thunderburn is just going to amplify the healing that you get from Healing Static by quite a bit. So, definitely, if you've taken Thunderburn, take Healing Static too. Make your life tanking a lot easier with the healing. That is a 2 versus 4 right now, and I'm a little bit scared for our buddies. Can we do it? We're here. It's now a 3 versus 4. We've got the 2 guys in the top lane. I want to try to get this back. Vala rolled through me. I need to jump away. I'd really rather not die, but I just have to show the enemy team my balls sometimes, and here we are. Now, your 16 talent, I think most of these are, they're a bit too defensive for my taste, which is why you're always going to see me take Dwarf Launch. Dwarf Launch is going to increase the range of our Dwarf Toss and is going to reduce the cooldown of it. So we can do things like this, jumping directly behind the Zul'jin over the wall and blasting him into another universe. Under the fort. Looks like Falstad's going to die because he thought he could 1v1 Cassia. But turns out she's got 30 armor all the time. There's nothing we could do about it. So, anyway, Stitches is off clearing a lane. There's not really anything we need to worry about there. And somebody can go get the dragon to seal the deal on this core. But, again, imposing presence I don't think is super useful. I mean, unless you're into an entire team of auto attackers and you want to slow all that stuff down. It's just not the hot. Especially when you can jump that far. I mean, it's crazy. And then Stone Form just giving you a heal on your D button, but it's a 60-second cooldown, and I'm not super in love with that either. When you're playing Haymaker Muradin, you're not really going in to soak up damage, you're going in to kill people. Or you're going in to set up kills. Which is why you're going to take Rewind at level 20, and then when you hit 20, you're just going to hit a W real hard, you're going to hit a Q, you're going to rewind, you're going to hit another Q, you're going to hit another W, and then you're going to Haymaker, and if that person is not dead, they will very, very likely die to your team. Wow, enemy MVP, really. I mean, I guess she did put out a lot of damage, and she did have a lot of stats, and that's... versus a 10 death Gul'dan, that's certainly something. 7 death Falstad, I don't know. I only died 2 times, so I feel way better. And you can see here in the damage charts, we're outdealing the damage of a Zul'jin, a Falstad, and a Stitches as Muradin. So it feels very, very good to do all this stuff. We're even catching up to the 10 death Gul'dan with our damage numbers. I mean, this tank does damage easily. We had 52 by the end there, so that's crazy good. That was about 5 times 4 is 20. That's 208 extra damage on our Q. And I assume it was probably about 280 to 300 by the time that game ended, so it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. But anyway, the build again, Perfect Storm at 1, Sledgehammer at 4, Give him the Axe at 7, Haymaker at 10, Thunderstrike at 13, 16 is Dwarf Launch, Rewind is at 20. Again, 13, Thunderstrike, probably only take this in situations where it's very easy to get solo kills. But if you're doing a lot of team fighting, this thing is ultimately going to be pretty useless as far as the damage is concerned. But that passive armor duration increase on your E is helpful. It's probably not going to be as helpful as the healing and the damage from Bronzebeard Rage, though, so it's a preference thing. Do you. Live your life. This is what I like. This is what feels the best for me. But that is it for Muradin. There is going to be one more video this week because we have to do one singular video on Friday for Anduin's rework, and then we'll be back next week to continue on down the line with the A through Z. And I think there are some updated patched heroes that we'll eventually come across with that too. So it's going to be fun stuff. It's going to be fun stuff. Honorable mention to the Hanzo, who is slapping arrows all throughout this game. But I'll see you guys there, and peace out.